Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If I could just have your attention for a moment, please. Parents, if you wouldn't mind just maybe turning cell phones onto silent just before we begin, if they're not on silent, and staff. All right. So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, members of staff, our principal, Mr. De Wet. But most importantly, welcome to the grade 11s of 2024 and soon to be the matric class of 2025. I'm so glad you all applauded because I wrote here in brackets, the crowd will applause. If you're sitting here tonight, congratulations. Congratulations, and this means you've made it. The purpose of tonight's meeting is to inform all of you on some important information regarding your upcoming matric year. And parents, it's actually also your upcoming matric year. I don't know if you've been on the journey with a student before, but you're going to be on a wild ride now. Prepare yourselves. Learners, at the end of the evening, please make sure you come forward and sign for your report and work pack. You have to give that report to your parents. They have to see what you've done this year. In your work packs, you will find the following: A Life of Pi, which you are expected to read through. I've said here more than once throughout December. But I think, guys, if you can read that book 3, 4, 5 times, I think you're going to put yourself way ahead of the game. So I strongly, strongly recommend you read that book more than 3 or 4 times. You won't be receiving a crucible because you all received a crucible this year. The same goes for that. You are expected to read that 3 to 4 times. File sekund, julle moet dit lees asseblief. Asseblief. For the maths lit learners, there will be a mathematics literacy textbook in your pack, which you can begin going through immediately tonight. For the pure maths learners, you will receive a work pack. Sports and exercise science learners, you will receive notes. Physical science learners, you will receive notes. Life science learners, you will receive notes, and you already have received a matric work pack already. Not your work pack, but an expectation for the learners who do EGD. Mr. Mavimbela implores upon you guys to use your time wisely and effectively. He wants to make sure that you guys are the top, that you will be recognized for your achievements at the end of your matric year. All right, the second item on our agenda for tonight is discipline. And I'm going to be asking myself to speak about discipline. Parents, learners, I just want to speak about this briefly. But guys, it is such an important part of our school. It's the cornerstone of allowing our school to function at the level at which it functions. Parents, please work with us, not against us. I promise, we're not here to criticize and find fault where there isn't. We are here to make sure that the school functions at its best. If you guys can, as parents, can make sure your learners are dressed appropriately in the morning, then obviously our job becomes a lot easier. This includes hairstyles, hair patterns, color in hair, shaving, socks, skirt lengths, stockings, but to name a few. And my personal pet peeve is when boys, and often girls, have a shaved eyebrow. The excuse most commonly used is, the barber just did it. Now guys, I'm getting on in life, and I know I don't have many opportunities when it comes to going to a barber and saying, do this pattern or this style. But never once have I been to a barber where he has just done something because he felt like doing it, even though with me there wouldn't be much possibility for something wild. So boys, please, girls, please, make sure you have your eyebrows intact. To ensure that there are no unnecessary issues next year, such as Friday detention or back and forth emails, challenging questioning, etc., please just ensure that your learners comply with the code of conduct. As I mentioned, if you guys let them out of the house in the morning looking correct, then we won't have to fight at all. So please just make sure that everybody complies. Thank you very much. I will now be calling upon Ms. Hickey to give an academic address. Thank you.
I know that I'm always asked to speak early in the evening because I'm the one that spoils everything. I'm the one that kills the joy. I'm the one that makes you feel a little afraid. So once I'm finished, though, the joy can begin again. Good evening, parents. Evening, I'm going to address you as grade 12s. That's effectively what you are. And during this presentation, I'm going to be referring to numbers quite frequently. Before I address academics generally, though, I do need to address English, because you all know that English is the only subject that you have to pass, and it is the only subject that you have to pass with 40%. So here come my first numbers. 10 and 1. That's what you had in grade 11 now. 10 poems, 1 novel. That novel was 164 pages, and it's relatively easy reading. But now we come to grade 12, and it's not 10 and 1 anymore, it's 12 and 2. 12 poems, The Crucible, and Life of Pi. Now, Mr. Miles has already mentioned my Life of Pi, but what he didn't tell you is that it's not 164 pages and 12 chapters. It's 308 pages and 100 chapters. And it's also rather difficult reading. So what would be first prize, obviously, would be for you to go through the book 3 or 4 times. But this is the maths that you can do. How many days do you have? How many chapters are there? Divide it up and read that number of chapters per day. Some of them are very short. I say 100 chapters, yes, they are. But some of them are quite short. You will manage to get through it, if you want to. And I think that's something very important that we need to discuss, or that you need to think about. Right, the next number I'm going to talk about is the number 25. But 25 is a calendar date. 25th of August. Round about that time is when you start your prelims. And some of you, I heard that, but learners, you're sitting here thinking, it's a long way away. You know what, it really isn't. And you know what's worse is that by that time, we have to have finished all your content and all your assessment tasks for every subject. Your matric year in total is just over 7 months. But that's not your teaching days. There are, here comes another number, 106 teaching days. Yes, between the start of your year and prelims, 106. Now again, some of you are thinking, 106 is quite a big number. Well, if you take 106 and you divide it by 7, because you all do 7 subjects, that gives you 15 teaching days per subject. That's it. 3 weeks. You should be starting to get a bit worried. Obviously, in those 106 days, what I haven't counted is weekends and holidays, which I'll come to now. Now, the number 2, small number, not so, very significant. Mr. Mortimer worked out that if he added up the assessment tasks that you have to do, you will end up doing an average of 1 assessment task or submit an assignment 1 every 2 days. Obviously, that's average. Can you see? Grade 12s, you see why I say I'm the killjoy. I'm not fun. But now I've got another number, and this is a big one. 189,693. I'm going to repeat. 189,693. That is the number of grade 12 students who wrote final exams now in 2024 in Gauteng. That's your competition. Every single one of you here is competing against 189,692 other learners. Now, why do I say competition? Of all of those learners, who is going to get into university? Who is going to get into a college? Who's going to get an internship? Who's going to get a job? Is it going to be you? Or is it going to be any one of those other thousands? I would like it to be you. But now you see we come to the biggest number. And grade 12s. If what I'm going to say next applies to you, take it and change. Because the biggest numbers go to those of you who think holidays and weekends are your socializing time, your off time, because you worked so hard in the week. Time to go out and have fun. Then you come to school on a Monday and you can't keep your eyes open because you didn't get enough sleep. How about those of you who don't ever plan? So you end up doing those 2 assessments the night before they have to be handed in, and you hand in, quite frankly, please, I don't mean to be harsh, but rubbish. Last minute, shoddy work that is virtually worthless. What about those of you who are absent? Just because. Midweek, Monday, Friday. No, I'm fine, but just wasn't into school that day. You cannot be absent unless it is a very real emergency. How many of you sitting here can tell me, or will be prepared to admit, let me put it that way, that you behave poorly in class and you disrupt lessons, that you're rude to the teachers, that you think you're funny? Are you going to carry on doing that next year? Remember, you don't have time. You don't have time to be silly. You don't have time to argue with the teacher. You don't have time to create issues with other children. What do I see every afternoon after school? Children playing soccer. Here. Grade 12s. Oh, I just need a sip of water, please.
Good speech. I like the number. Well done.
I'm sorry, it's all those numbers. So what do? Our transport only arrives at about 4. Do we sit at one of the very, very nice tables and go through our work for the day? Do we sit at the tables and go through our work for the next day? Do we go to an extra lesson? No, we play soccer. And we run around and we kick the ball and we have an absolute blast. And then the next day, my transport only got me home late. Didn't have time to do the homework. Then there's another group which I can't quantify. Those of you who just love your TikTok and your Instagram and your any other social media and your gaming. And we know, we get home, I'm just going to go onto my phone for 5 minutes, and before you know it's an hour. There's your time gone. Now, as I'm speaking, I'm looking around and I'm seeing there are a number of you here who are acknowledging that these are the things you tend to do. You need to change that. Now, of course, the biggest group is those of you who will find any excuse not to do the work that you're required to do. And by the time you finish looking for excuses, you could have done the work. And some of them are quite creative, but they don't get you anywhere. So my two main messages this evening is balancing your time against the numbers. You need to keep those numbers in mind, grade 12s. They are important. For those of you, let me just preface what I'm about to say. I've seen all of your marks. There are some of you who have outstanding marks. There are some of you who need to work really, really hard. You need to put in extra effort, you need to go through past papers, you need to attend extra lessons. The majority of you are sitting somewhere halfway in that 189,692. That's not good enough. I'm sorry. We know the climate of our country. We know how difficult things are. You have to be the very best that you can be. And you don't do that by doing all the activities that I couldn't quantify. Finally, think a little bit now about what you know about your performance to date, where you might fit in on that scale of over 100,000. When you get your reports, you'll have a better idea of where you fit in. And then what are you going to do to improve your chances in this competition that you are in? Remember, by putting everything you have into yourselves and into your own success, you've got nothing to lose. But if you don't, you have plenty to lose. And that again is a number that I cannot quantify. So having spoiled your fun and put a damper on the whole proceeding so far, I do wish you well. We are here to assist you. And parents and learners, we're on your side here. You need help, ask for it. And I wish you all the very best for next year.
I'm now going to invite Katara Pillay from the matric class of this year to come and say a few words. Katara was shared #1 position in the top 10 this year. So Katara, please, if you could just come and enlighten the students. Thank you.
Good evening to our esteemed principal, Mr. De Wet, deputy principals, grade managers, teachers, parents, and most importantly, the class of 2025. My name is Katara Pillay, Duck Scholar of Roosevelt High School for 2024. Firstly, I want to congratulate you all on making it this far. Being here today is already a great achievement. As you enter your final year of high school, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement of nearing the finish line. But I want to remind you that this coming year is crucial. The effort that you put in now will determine the opportunities you get in the future. Grade 12 will determine many of the moves you'll make in life, the institution you'll study at, the course you'll take, and even the job you'll have in the future. So I cannot stress enough how important studying hard and staying focused is next year. By being diligent, you not only have better marks, but you'll also develop good habits like critical thinking and problem-solving skills, which leads to valuable opportunities like bursaries and scholarships. Over the course of my academic journey, I've learned so many lessons that have helped me on a scholastic level, which I would like to share with you today. The first one is having a schedule, which has made me more disciplined and effective. And not just a study timetable for which subjects I'm planning to revise, but a whole routine for the entire day. I noticed that without a plan for the day, the line between relaxing and having fun and studying became very blurred. And at the end of the day, I found I actually didn't get much done. So a schedule is very useful as you know exactly what you have to do, how long to study, and when to take a break. It limits procrastination and ensures you achieve all your goals. Another important lesson is consistency, which is key for matric. Maintaining your marks in matric is crucial, as they all add up to a final average which determines whether you get accepted into university or not. But you've been maintaining your marks for 11 years already of school. This is just a continuation of what you've already been doing, so don't drop the ball next year. It's your last year. And whenever you feel hopeless or want to give up, think about the why. Why are you doing this? Think about the plans you have after school and the success that you can achieve. This has always helped motivate myself when I felt like this and kept me disciplined. Finally, the most important lesson for next year is to take care of yourself. Your physical and mental well-being should always come first. There's this common misconception that cramming for hours on end and having endless energy drinks and staying up till midnight is going to help you. But it does the exact opposite. It burns you out, harms your body, and I bet you wouldn't have learned anything either. Instead, try studying for manageable periods of time, exercising and having a healthy diet, and just taking care of your body. I promise you, this will be far more valuable, both academically and health-wise. It's also so important to maintain your mental health by just taking regular short breaks from studying, engaging in stress-relieving activities, and simply taking the time to do things that you enjoy. With all of this being said, this is your last year of high school. So aside from the studying, also cherish the memories and enjoy every moment of the coming year. Play the sport that you love, engage in your favorite hobbies, and have fun with your friends. Make the most of this year, while also setting yourself up for success. Remember, the hard work you put in now will pay off in the long run. So make next year count and create the bright future everyone knows you are capable of achieving. Thank you.
I'd now like to call up Mr. Ferreira to discuss practical subjects.
Thank you, Mr. Miles. You see, he stole my notes. Thank you for giving it back. All right, I'm going to talk to you about the practical subjects, specifically about the PATs as well. And I'm also going to talk to the parents. The practical subjects are specialized subjects. Now, these include EGD, CAT, IT, sports and exercise sciences, design, visual arts, and hospitality studies and consumer studies. All right, many of you have at least one of those subjects. Some of you have more than one. And many of you complain on a yearly basis that these subjects are expensive. Granted, they are expensive. You have to pay for these subjects. Specifically, the biggest reason is the equipment that you use, the ingredients that you have to buy. If you think about food prices over the past 5 years have increased 20% every single year. And then you sit with a state-of-the-art computer center that we'll never be able to pay it back with the money that we get from each learner. So the school's providing all of the opportunities that you can get to do the very best in your practical subjects. Now, unfortunately, as I've mentioned, you pay a levy per subject, and unfortunately as well, you have to pay more for hospitality studies. You can understand that with every practical in hospitality studies is an astronomical amount of money that needs to be taken out. Parents, please pay for your practical subjects. It's important that we need to have those fees in. Remember, for every practical subject, you need a specialized teacher. And for every specialized teacher, you need to pay a salary. So it's very easy to say we're not going to have IT anymore, but then we have to fire a teacher. Right. When we look at your practical subjects, it contains of 3 different categories. Number 1, you have your SBA, which counts only 25% of the whole year. Now think about it like this: every single assessment that you do, every single test, every single task, and every single exam, in the end, counts 25%. Doesn't sound like much, does it? But if you need that 25% to get your distinction or to get your pass, then it is a lot. Then in the end of the year, you write exams, which counts 50%. So, if you do well in the exams, you will pass. But then the last 25%, and this is where practical subjects are different, comes from your practical assessment task, your PAT. Right, grade 12s. Please listen very carefully. This is a warning. We are not going to run after you for PAT. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to send emails. Mr. Miles is not going to send emails so that you will meet your deadlines. It's not going to happen. You will be scheduled on some Saturdays to come into school and do your PATs. There's a simple reason for that. Ms. Hickey, the new number cruncher in the school, told you exactly how little time you really have. And unfortunately, when it comes to PATs, you need to spend a lot of time on your PAT, because your PAT counts 25%. It counts the same as the whole year's work for one task. And unfortunately, regulations say that you must do your PAT under supervision of your teacher. You're not really allowed to do your PAT at home. Do ChatGPT and create a website using ChatGPT. All right? You're not allowed to do that. You have to do your PAT in class. So, we expect our teachers to spend 4 hours on a Saturday to babysit you and to look after you and advise you so that you can do the very best in your PAT. If you are absent, you will be required in the other grades to change subjects. If your PAT isn't submitted, you will be required to change subjects. But being in grade 12, that's not going to happen, is it? So what do you think is going to happen? Ms. Hickey will call you in, and then she will say, unfortunately, you are not going to pass grade 12. Your PAT has not been handed in. We are going to deregister you, and you are going to repeat the process next year. It's fine. We'll give you a chance. We love you. Don't shake your head at me. All right? We will give you a second chance because we believe that a second chance is good. You're going to sign a contract. Your parents are going to sign a contract where you will commit to the days required that you will do your PATs. Unfortunately, you are in grade 12. You are doing this for yourself. And you need to understand, you need to respect the teacher who is also not doing it for him or herself, but actually for you. remember, respect comes a long way. When it comes to teachers, you are here for you, but we are actually also here for you. Thank you very much.
I'd now like to call up Ms. Hall to discuss matric jackets and the matric dance for next year.
Maybe I'm the Grinch that stole Christmas. Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, parents, guardians, and most importantly, class of 2025. Okay, I am responsible for two very big things in your matric year, as you know, the matric dance and matric jackets. And you already gave me grey hair with the matric jackets. Right. Parents, I understand that the information that I'm going to share now is going to be quite overwhelming, so I will be emailing all these dates to you tomorrow morning. Okay. Please rest assured that I will keep you up to date. You're going to feel like your whole matric year is going to revolve around the matric dance. It's not going to stop tonight. Okay. All work and no play. No, I'm joking. We can only play if we work hard. Okay, referring to the communication that you've received from Ms. Gori on the 19th of November, I would like to reiterate some key aspects on the matric dance. As you know, the dance is scheduled for Wednesday, the 30th of April. Strange, ne? But if you've done a little bit of research, you'll see that the March holiday has been split into two. So one part of the holiday is end of March, and the other part of the holiday is end of April, which leaves us with only 12 teaching days in April. 1, 2. Okay. Therefore, you need to make sure that you are at school every single day. If you're not here, you're not going to your matric dance. Easy as that. You're going to like this even more. As part of the school management team, we have decided, because it's in your best, that learners will strictly adhere to uniform regulations during the two holidays, between the two holidays. That means that all your hair, your facial hair, your nails will be, when it's school, 100%. You will have enough time between the 25th of April and the 30th of April to look at your best at the dance. On the 5th of May, when you're back, is that Monday, you are 100% according to the uniform regulations. Yes. Whoop, whoop. Why do we do this? Why do you do that? Why? Because we need to get you into line. 12 days, guys. 12 days only. Okay, so, as you know, that it is the matric dance will be held at Rand Park Golf Club, which is just 5 kilometers from here. It is best, it is safe. It's one of the only venues that can accommodate up to 350 people. Okay, so we will start the evening where learners will arrive here at the school in your beautiful cars. All of you, where we will then greet your parents and your family, and then you will be escorted by the lovely school buses. Yeah. Okay, you will then hop on a school bus, party bus, without any alcoholic beverages, and we're going to ensure that you get there safe. We're going to ensure that there's no boot bars or car boot bars. We're going to make sure that you are in our hands and you are safe. So you're going to arrive here, and all of a sudden you're going to see you are 333 matrics. Okay, you're going to get time slots. And why do I say it now? It's still 5 months to go. Because start thinking. You can't all arrive at the same time. You're going to book your time slots. You're going to rock up with your friends or partner. You're going to make sure that you are here on time, because no friends or family members will be allowed at the venue. You will also not be allowed to be dropped off at the venue. School bus. Okay, and then very important, if you leave the venue during the evening there, you will not be allowed to go back in. Once again, we need to ensure the safety of the 332 other learners in your grade. Okay, the cost of the 1,200, just want to, it includes your 3-course meal, professional photographer, videographer, DJ, decor, and a photo booth. Okay. You need to make sure, somewhere now we're telling you, that if we hear any chit-chats about after parties, we do not condone any form or shape of an after party. As our esteemed principal would say, that there is a time and a... The time and place is not for a matric dance after party, because 5 days later, you're back at school. And make sure that you're back here. Okay, just a reminder that should you want to go to the matric dance, we need the deposit of 600 by end of January. Okay, you got the letter from Ms. Corey with the payment plan. Okay, then last, the matric jackets. I want to say thank you from my side that we placed a staggering first order of 260 jackets. 80% of the grade ordered the matric jacket. And I want to say thank you for your patience during the voting process. Even though you gave us really, really bad hair, grey hair, and lost a little bit of hair, if we had to incorporate 333 matrics and on average 2 parents, we would have 1,000 options to choose from. 1,000 options to be on your matric jacket. Okay, just a friendly reminder that you need to pay your outstanding payments. You will get your jacket when it's fully paid up, the way most of you paid it up. And then you will receive your jackets the Monday or Tuesday before school starts. Mr. Miles will send out communication. If you have any questions, parents, about the matric dance or the matric jackets, please feel free to ask me or Mr. Miles or Ms. Corey. And then I do hope that you enjoy your December holidays and that you stay safe. To see you all, the class of 2025.
I'd now like to call up Mr. De Wet to address you all.
Thank you, learners. Thank you, Mr. Miles. Thank you, staff that's present. Dear parents, thank you for your time. You are indeed very, very welcome, and learners, thank you and well done on being here. You will not know this, but as groups go through the school, there's a certain ethos, there's a certain feeling, there's certain differentiations between grades and groups. I can honestly say you are one of the very best groups and grades we've had in this school. You're honestly right. The issues in this grade was actually minimal, and when there were issues, it could have all been sorted and all was sorted. Parents, thank you for your support. It's absolutely phenomenal. I want to say to you, everybody that sits here have the full potential to pass grade 12, but not only that, you actually have every opportunity in the book to really pass grade 12 well and to excel and actually also to exceed your own expectations. But that can only happen if you choose tonight to take our advice. Dear parents, I was sitting here and I was thinking, perhaps if I was an uninformed parent, I would just think the school's rules are so strict. But dear kids, learners, grade 12s, every decision that we make, every rule, every regulation every date for the matric dance, that sort of thing, is in your interest. The SMT collectively make these decisions. And the first question we ask is, how will this impact on our learners? What is the best decision for the learners? I'm a strong, strong believer in that. And we do that because, as Mr. Ferreira said, we actually do love you. We actually do care about you. We want you to be successful. And if you make the choice to do the right thing, you will be. Life is actually so unfair because the choices that you are about and start to make now for your grade 12 year is going to have an impact on you for the rest of your life. There's plenty of teachers that want to join this staff of this school. In my interview processes, I start with their grade 12 results. It tells me exactly who's the candidate teacher that sits across the table. It tells me all about that teacher, who they were, who they will be as a teacher. And in whatever occupation you choose to go into, the employer or hopefully the employer will ask you, in which high school were you? First benefit, you are in one of the 2 top % high schools in South Africa. You are. What a massive benefit is that? But how unfair is that towards the rest that's not in a high performance high school? And you should really thank your parents, dear grade 12s, for enrolling you in this school, for paying your school fees, to make sure that you get a proper education. Because as I've said, life is not fair. You have seen our schools, neighboring schools visits us in the grade 12 year. You've seen it, am I right? Why do they come here? Those poor souls were not taught correctly in their schools. Yeah, it's really sad that in some schools that I visit are really parents cannot ascertain when it's break or not break in school. There's always learners outside of class. I can't get to really understand when is the break time. Teachers close all their windows and their doors just to get a bit of silence to teach those who actually wants to be in class. And that's only the teachers that want to teach. Now at Roosevelt High School, there's no such. At Roosevelt High School, there's committed teachers that's here even when they're sick, when they are really, really sick. The teachers come to school. Teachers come when they undergo chemotherapy. They are back at school. They don't take the time that doctors book them off. That's how serious the good teachers in this school take their job and their task of educating you. Dear learners, what can you do to say thank you to these committed teachers and your parents? Do well. Reach your full potential. It's possible. The best teachers are in grade 12. We've got no weak teachers in the school. We honestly don't have. But we have experienced teachers in grade 12. Teachers who know what they do. Teachers who are matric markers. Teachers who are leading in education and are leaders in setting up grade 12 exam papers. That's the kind of teachers you have in front of you. And that's why we will and don't have to tolerate any backchatting, any bad behavior, any disrespect from you towards your teachers. Why? Because we as a staff respect you, and I think you know that. We do respect you, and respect goes such a long way, but it is something that must come from both sides. You're a good group. I know you will carry on in that way, and I know that is why you will absolutely be successful. There is a time and a place for everything. Now is a time to really work. The results of 12 years of education is coming to an end next year, only half a year. And that's why I always spoke to the grade 12s in front of you when you were sitting there. That's why next year, while you sit there with the grade 12, because you're grade 12, we will address you about time things and those kind of things so that the grade 11s of next year can actually learn it as you have learned it. But if you sit here tonight, congratulations, you've made it. This group will have 100% pass rate, but a quality pass rate with good results, and I want to wish each and everyone well. I hope that your dreams come true. I hope you have a plan. But one of the grade 12s that got 7 distinctions a few years ago, I've asked her, how did she do it? She said she even just read through the textbooks at night before she goes to sleep, without even understanding it at that stage. But when the teacher then comes to a certain concept or knowledge, she assimilates it much more easier because it's not in totality all new facts. You've learned what the numbers are. You've heard it tonight. Time is of the essence next year. Please, I beg you, start to read your novels. You need to read it about 3 times from beginning to end. Read 20 pages or more. I haven't made that calculation. Read a number of pages, both in Afrikaans and both in English, every night before you go to bed, and start the night with a textbook that you get. That's why the teachers are here. It's a massive work to count out books, to set up packs. Other schools don't do it because they don't care as much as we care here. Do the right thing. And I can absolutely guarantee you, if you play your part, learners, and I say this again, you will be astronomically successful. You will be. I promise you, I can guarantee that. And we want that. Your parents want it. We want it. We just hope you really want it. And of course, have a good holiday. And the holidays that's coming up, you have to plan when you study, when you have holiday. I want you to have a fantastic grade 12. Very well. But the harder you work, the better your results will be, and the better your breaks will be. Don't do everything on a level of compliance or performance. Work as hard as you can. Your holiday will be better. Your results will be better. Life is short. You can never get back any moment or minute you have wasted. But I think that is enough said for tonight. I really want to wish you well. And as I've said, thank you. You are a fantastic group, and I'm looking forward, and from a distance, I will look at your results. But I know it's going to be brilliant. I hope you have a plan. Do plan, but also do execute your plan. Mr. Marsh, you've asked me to announce the executive of the RCL, but I don't know if I feel like doing that tonight.
I think we'll first announce the RCL and give them ties.
Announce the RCL, give them ties, then perhaps at a later function next year we can announce executive.
Absolutely.
What do you say? Good plan. Right, we are now going to just formally welcome and congratulate the RCL.
All right, guys. I know we're all very, very excited. I also know that we are all very, very hot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call up the RCL learners in alphabetical order. If you could please walk this way, collect a tie from Mr. De Wet, and then stand quite far down there. And then once you're all lined up at the front, I'll ask that we give a massive round of applause. You can then all stay standing there, and if Mr. De Wet feels the need to announce the executive, then obviously we can do that tonight as well. Just after that, I know we're going to be very, very excited, but can you just take a moment to hear our closing tonight as well? So let me just announce everyone, please, if you could just hold your applause to the end. Tamron Adams, Tato Adiman, Milani Bengu, Jamie Cornelius, Zaria De Khale, Kamokhelo Ditefo, Dante Etchels, Zubaida Ibrahim, Rory Sang Inele, Cole Foster, Ethan Govender, I always apologize, Olive Arisa, Tyler Hendricks, Sipokazi Tlatswayo, Yusuf Karoda, Bonasile Mahlangu, Panache Mokanezi, Diana Marzov, Christina Matangi, Simangaliso Mbuyisa, Nokulunga Mchunu, Koketso Madupe, Bilkiz Miller, Rehan Molla, Tabo Mondlana, Tato Mondlana, Boikanyo Mo, Khotso Mklong, Kusela Nchitiana, Ethan Ndlovu, Boitumelo Ngakana, Nisian Khan, Annalena Paddy, Ashley Palmer, Philip Imana, Paige Sakur, Clifford Saleke, Shazia Sheikh, Brooklyn Surcott, Jithen Sukdeo, Camry Stevens, Sydney Thompson, Risejo Time, Emmanuel Ituke, Carlin van Wyk, Audrey Vengasai, and Jasmine Whitaker.
Ja.
It gives me enormous pleasure to be able to announce the RCL executive members, both boys and girls, for next year. Executive members of the RCL, our first executive member is Melanie. May I ask that the parents join us, please? Melanie's parents, please come forward. Is Melanie's parents here? Whenever we announce a learner, we do ask that the parents come forward, and then we present him with their white blazer. We would like the next parents to come forward. Emmanuel's parents. Emmanuel Utuke. Emmanuel, where are you?
Would Emmanuel's mom come forward?
The next executive member of the RCL is Stephen Sokdayo. Mr. and Mrs. Sokdayo. It gives me enormous pleasure to announce the next executive RCL member. Will the parents also come forward of Jamie Cornelius? The next member, will the parent also come forward, please? Clifford. It is with pride that I do announce our deputy head boys. Our first deputy head boy, Philip. Our second deputy head boy will be Ethan Govender. And our final deputy head boy for next year will be Rayan Mullah. I think the school also will need the services of deputy head girls. And the first deputy head girl for next year, my honor to announce Zaria Dikhat. The second deputy head girl for next year will be Sydney Thompson. And our final goal that will be deputy head goal for next year will be Nonkulanga. It is an absolute honor to announce our head boy for 2025 by the name of Nis Eaton Cox. And finally, our head goal for 2025, it's my honor to name Diana Marshall. Finally, really congratulations to all of you. Just do remember, with great honor and a great privilege also comes a lot of responsibility. But we believe that you can do it. There's no uncertainty in my heart about that. I honestly want to wish you well and to congratulate you, and a huge accolade actually to your parents for raising kids like this, learners like this, and learners like this. Thank you.
RCL and executives, I'm extremely proud of each and every one of you. Congratulations. I'm going to ask that you all just stay standing where you are. There's just two more things to discuss. The first is, please, after I dismiss all of you, that you make sure you collect your stationery packs with your reports. Please, that's the most important thing. The second thing is a bit of a difficult one. You know, often we go on journeys in our lives and we never know where we're going to end up. Tonight will be Mr. De Wet's last night and last event as principal of our school. Sir has reached a time in his life where he can kick back, relax, and enjoy whatever his future has in store for him. Mr. De Wet, I just want to say thank you from myself and thank you from my grade for all that you've continued to do for us continuously, time and time again. Thank you that everything you've done has been in the best interest of our learners at our school. We want to wish you all the best next year and all the best on your future endeavors. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. All right. Before we go off and enjoy our break, I just want to leave you with some words going into your matric year. Next time you're stressed, take a step back. Inhale and laugh. Remember who you are. Remember why you're here. You're never given anything in this world that you can't handle. Be strong, be flexible, love yourself, and love others. Always remember, just keep moving forward. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you for tonight.